Cold game. First round draft pick.
Welcome to another episode of Cold Game. I'm your host, Isaiah Dotson. I'm here with my co-host, Malcolm Bunnell. And tonight, we got a very special guest in the building for y'all, man. So buckle up. Man, he's a walking sports encyclopedia, a true student of the game, a man who's been in the trenches, straight out of Southport High School, a Tennessee State alum, a former semi-pro standout with the Indianapolis Cougars. He even shot his shot in the big leagues with a trial for Detroit Lions. This man has seen it all, from the field to the film room. His knowledge of the game is next level, and he's here to drop some gems on Cold Game. Give it up for the one and the only Brian Bunnell. My uncle.
My pops.
Come on, homie. You can't be serious.
What's going on? What's going on?
Man, I thank God for the good and the bad. Nephew, son, what's happening?
I'm feeling good.
What's going on?
Good.
Man, y'all talking sports. You know what I mean? Knowledge is the game. Knowledge is power. KRS-One say knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. You know, so it's about, we're going to talk some sports. We're going to talk for real. We're going to get down to the truth of the matter. We ain't going to play no games with nobody. We're going to come at you. And if you can, it's like facts. It's sort of like the only way you can make water is 2 parts hydrogen, a part of oxygen, H2O, right? It's the only way you can make water. But you can't figure it out. Can't nobody make water. Let me see you make water. So the process of water. I want to see you make some water.
You know the recipe.
Yeah, you got the recipe, but can you make it? You know what I'm saying? For no reason. I mean, just, because you're going to get facts. You're going to kick sports knowledge. You know what I mean? Let's kick it. And let's get down to the science of it. Let's figure it out.
I guess we just going to ask you this off the rip.
All right.
Who's the GOAT?
That's hard to say, man. We're talking about that. That was what we just kicking it about, right? How can you talk about the GOAT and not talk about, Jabbar? Jabbar changed the game, man. He revolutionized the game. He got outlawed at many levels. How can you talk about who the GOAT when, like we just talking about that, man? Tell me something else that the University of San Francisco done since Bill Russell left. Bill Russell won 11 championships as a player and a coach. So imagine that. Imagine playing a game, a sport. I don't care if you're playing tiddlywinks. Coaching and playing in the NBA. Hey, man, come on, check in on in. Koozie, check in, man. Check in right now while you out there boarding. Check in, bro. And win a chip doing it. Forget that, win a chip doing it.
So you saying Bill Russell definitely one of the GOATs. I'm
just saying that, man, men lie, women lie, numbers don't tell no lies. See, that's what we're just talking about. You can't argue with numbers. You can't argue with H2O. You can't argue with that, man. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like to talk, when I talk about, standards, I talk about the numbers, man. It's all about the numbers. It ain't about anybody can look good. There's so many dudes, man. Every path in life is the next greatest and latest. Somebody that really look good. This look good. Man, it was nasty at the time, but did it stand the test of time? It's sort of like Knuckles. There used to be a rim when we was coming up called Knuckles, and they were silver rims with the knots in them. They called them Knuckles, and everybody wanted Knuckles. Man, you wouldn't even have a pair of Knuckles now. A pair of Knuckles. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Shaquille O'Neal shoes to Shaq's. They look good when they first came out till you wore them, and then dudes start joning on you after about 2 or 3 months. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about standing the test of time, nephew.
Man, it's always tough when people have this conversation because everybody gonna always gravitate towards Jordan or LeBron. But in my eyes, from what I've seen, a GOAT is somebody that couldn't nobody stop.
Right.
Somebody who was a dominant force. Right. So if they ask me who's my GOAT, who I think is the greatest of all time, who I've seen with my eyes, I gotta say Shaq.
Good. It's hard to say, man, because I done seen dudes dominate Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget Shaq. Let me tell you like this. Look, Shaq had almost a dream team in college with Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Steph Curry before there was Steph Curry, super nastiness. I done been in his mansion and prayed with him everything. I got his phone number too. Super nastiness. You know what I mean? Y'all call him Chris Jackson. I call him Mahmoud. They burnt his house down in Biloxi, Mississippi. Burnt his house down, bro, because he practiced Islam. But I'm telling you, he was so nasty, super duper duper nasty. Shaq had him in college, and had a big dude with the R, Roberts, Stanley Roberts. Couldn't win it in college. He couldn't get her done. And had his coach. His coach was a legendary coach. Damn, couldn't get it done.
Chris Jackson, he played for the Nuggets, right?
Yeah, banned him from the NBA because he wouldn't stand up for the national anthem. Because he expressed it. That's why they tried to burn his house down.
So who's your GOAT, though, Unc? Who's your GOAT?
It's hard telling, man. I'm saying of all time, the greatest basketball player to me of all time is Magic Johnson, man. That goes without saying, man. The greatest basketball player in the history of basketball. Like Curtis Blow said, we playing basketball. I know about just hooping. The Uncle Drew, the dude that did his thing. They won at every single level. He won a chip in high school, bro. In East Lansing, Michigan. He won a chip. He went to the NCAA championship game his freshman year in college, bro. He won it his sophomore year in college. His rookie year in the NBA, 42, 15, and 7, man. 19, jumping against Dr. J, crossing over Mo Cheeks, backing down Moses Malone at 19 years old, bro. In the league 10 years and played for the finals like 8 or 9 times. Every year he played a game, he playing for a chip, man. And if Charles Barkley and Karl Malone, them two old fade dudes, got him banned from the league because he had AIDS, he's still alive.
I like that. So when they ask you who the GOAT is, so it's not just NBA. It's a cumulative basketball career. So we talking high school, college, in the NBA. That's who the GOAT is.
But the greatest basketball player. They don't say the greatest NBA basketball player of all time. They say the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm talking about, man. So let me ask you a question. What did Herm Edwards say in that famous press conference? You play to win the game. So many dudes, man, we had one of the coldest shooters in the history of the NBA. They booed him. I was at that draft party when they drafted Reggie Miller. Everybody wanted to draft Steve Alford. Now listen, if everybody went to the common opinion, because the common opinion in college basketball that year, Steve Alford was the coldest to ever do it. But they drafted Reggie out of UCLA, a dude his sister was better than him. So imagine that when your sister a better basketball player than you coming out of college. Like, man, I think your sister can beat you, Ho. I think your sister got you. And when they drafted Reggie, everybody was booing in Marcus Square. I was at their draft party. Boo, boo, we want Alfred. We want Alfred. Now just think if they'd have drafted Steve Alford.
That would have been
He
ugly.
won that chip though, but he had a nasty mob. Look at that mob he had with Keith Smart. He had a mob, man, and he had one of the coldest brains in the history of basketball, Bobby Knight, on the sidelines. The inventor of the motion offense. They talk about the motion. Bobby Knight invented that. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, Mal, who's your GOAT?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
You already know. You already know what I would say. I mean, he's one at the two levels he's played at.
True story. And every team that he done left from was trash when he left them. See, that's another thing too. How does your team do when you ain't there? Because if you're the greatest of all time, when you leave, your team should be trash. When Jordan left to play basketball, the Bulls went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they would have won it if Scotty wouldn't have tripped out on Phil Jackson. They had him knocked. And Scotty was like, man, when he drew the play up for Kukoc, Scotty checked out. Man, I'm through.
Now, I know I said so. I said Shaq is my GOAT, but I'm thinking we just talking about NBA. Now, if you ask me who's the greatest basketball player of all time, in my opinion, it was one player that really caught my attention when I really looked at his stats. He got some cold stats, and he's right from the city. You know what I'm talking about?
Oscar Robertson.
Off the rip.
Hey, super nasty. He changed the game. He revolutionized the game. He was the original triple-double. He was a walking triple-double at every level.
Let me just tell you his accomplishments in basketball. He led Christmas Addicts back-to-back state championships.
They made the movie Hoosiers about it. They made the movie Hoosiers about that.
He was the villain.
You're right.
They was the first all-black team in the U.S. history to win a state championship. They went 45-1 over his last 2 seasons, including an undefeated 31-0 season in 1956. He was named Mr. Basketball. He was a 3-time scoring champion in college at the University of Cincinnati.
And he never been done again. Now tell me another dude in the University of Cincinnati ever led the nation in scoring. Name me one. I'm willing. Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna put up $10,000 to anybody who can name me a dude that went to the University of Cincinnati that led the University of Cincinnati in scoring 3 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? And took him to the NCAA tournament.
Nasty. 3-time consistent first-team All-American, 2-time National Player of the Year. He led Cincinnati to 2 Final Four appearances in 59 and 60. He set the NCAA's career scoring record of all time at 2,900.73. He averaged 33.8 points per game, and that was just in college. When he got to the NBA, he was an NBA champion in 1971, NBA MVP 1964. What team
was it?
Milwaukee Bucks.
Now hold on a second. Tell me his lineup, though. Tell me who was on that team. That's the key. See, it ain't the key what you did, you know what I'm saying, when you did it. Tell me the dudes that was there with you when you did it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you could tell. Robert Horry got more chips than anybody. You see what I'm saying? But you tell me each one of the teams he won that chip on, and that's where you see the true story. That's like if you're talking about like Larry Bird. You know what I mean? Tell me something that Indiana State did since Bird left, but we get to Bird here in a minute.
Let me see. For Milwaukee Bucks, who was on this team, let's see.
What year was that?
That was in Oscar Robertson teammates. Oh man, he had a squad though. We played with them on 2K. I pull out.
Run them down, nephew.
You got Adrian Smith. He played 658 games with him. Wayne Embry, Zach Swimey, Jerry Lucas,
nasty.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Hall of Famer, the best that ever did it.
Connie Durkins,
nasty.
Tom Hawkins,
nasty.
I mean, they got his whole list of teammates on here, man. But the dude was raw, man. And then what people need to understand. So he was a 12-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA All-Star Game MVP, 9-time All-NBA first team, 6-time NBA assist leader, and he was the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double. He was the first to do it. And he retired with 181 career triple-doubles. And it stood for 60 years until Russell Westbrook broke it. So that's what I'm saying, though, Unc, man. We hear a lot of talk about LeBron and Jordan being a GOAT. Man, hey, man, not ever forget about Oscar.
Them dudes that don't know nothing about sports, man. Them dudes are something that, you know what I mean? They know something about it, but it's about what you've done for me lately, bro. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in the game, homie. He scored 100 points in the game. Now look at Wilt Chamberlain's career stats. Forget that, man. Look up Wilt Stilt's career stats. But you know what? He couldn't beat Bill Russell.
Wilt Chamberlain
Bill Russell had
stats.
his number. Bill Russell was 6'11", skinny dude, 210.
Hey, he say Wilt Chamberlain averaged 30 points, 22 rebounds, 4 assists, 30 and 22 in the career.
22 in the whole career stat line.
They say.
Hey, but don't forget that. But here to go around. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit. What they say Wilt Chamberlain did in track and field. Give me Wilt Chamberlain's track and field stats. Look that up.
But this the rumor I heard though. I heard that dudes was in the Great Depression. They was all sad, man. They was
Hey,
looking
come
for
on,
something to
man.
get their
Hey,
mind
man,
off of thing. They go in that
hey,
gym
man,
with
come
Wilt.
on. Come on, bro. That dude ain't got no respect. That's like that dude ain't got no. So this dude ain't got no respect for history. So you telling me that George Foreman, when he came back at 44 years old and knocked out Ray Mercer wasn't no heavyweight champ at 24. So I don't care what level you in. Now tell me a 44-year-old man is gonna come and fight a 24-year-old man in his prime and knock his ass out, the champion of the world, and go 9 or 10 rounds with him. That's a dude that a lot of dudes have revisionist history, man. So you gonna tell me that Muhammad Ali, because he fought in the 60s and 70s, one of the coldest fighters of all time? That means that you ain't never watched sports. You gonna tell me that Walter Payton, right now, you gonna tell me that Walter Payton, the Walter Payton sweetness, one of the coldest dudes I ever seen run a football. I'm telling you now, the coldest dude I ever seen run a football was Eric Dickerson, played for the Colts. So Nathan, when he came from the Rams and came to the Colts, he was the coldest. I used to dream about watching Dickerson with his stride, the ball all the way up here, cuz. You gonna tell me he couldn't have played in the NFL right now today and wouldn't have dominated? You gonna tell me Barry Sanders wouldn't have dominated in the NFL right now? Because we were talking about that a little earlier. The coldest dude ever played football is Deion Sanders, prime time. He changed the game. He made dudes want to play football. He shut down the whole field. Let me tell you something like this, man. See, because men lie, women lie, numbers don't tell no lies. He won a Super Bowl with one team. Pete Game, when you do this research, he won a Super Bowl with one team 1 year. He came back, the team they beat in the Super Bowl, signed with that team and won it with that team the next year. So you took him off one team, he won a chip. You put him on the other team that got beat, put him on that team, they won a chip.
Hey.
So that make him the GOAT?
Come on, bro.
Tom Brady did that.
Not back-to-back years. Not in consecutive years. Not the team that you beat. The team that you beat. So let's say, for instance, you beat Malcolm. Malcolm played for Warren Central. You played for Cecina. Cecina beat Warren Central in the state championship game 1 year. You go to Warren Central. Y'all come back the next year and beat Cecina. The same team. The only difference was you as the player. How many times you ever seen right now in the NFL where dudes refuse to throw the ball to one side of the field? One whole side of the field, the quarterback does not go over there for any reason. One time, listen, Atlanta, San Francisco, probably the coldest quarterback to ever come out of Indianapolis was Jeff George out of Warren Central. Ron Clark, but the dude Jason Whitlock, cold buster. You know what I'm saying? Jason Whitlock, the dude who got that show, Whitlock, whatever, man, cold uncle, you know what I'm saying? Just not that type of dude, man. What type of dude he is, he an old fake. Okay, he played offensive tackle. They had one of the coldest high school teams in the history of Indianapolis sports. Ron Clark, they running back. Craig Looper, you know what I mean? Jason Whitlock, you know what I mean? They was nasty, top to bottom. You know, Warren Central had never won no football games, man, until they quarter the bus in 1979. But that's a whole nother subject, too. But anyway, Jeff George, you know what I'm saying, cold, ice cold, when number one came out of Warren, after he won the chip at Warren. I broke his collarbone in 86. So after they went to Warren, you know what I'm saying, he went to Purdue. You know what I'm saying? Then really couldn't make it at Purdue, then went to Illinois. But then was the number one overall pick in the NFL draft, number one. He wasn't number 2, 3, 4, 5. He was number one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Played with the Colts for a while, couldn't make it with the Colts. Went to the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons gave up the whole farm to get Jeff George. Deion Sanders, Sunday football, I never forget it. They on the goal line. Andre Rison, cold, the one that least left out Lopez, burned his house down. Ice cold. Andre Rison was so cold. That wide receiver was so cold. Jeff George collared Deion back up into the end zone. He back up 8, 9 yards. So now listen, you first and 3 or 4. That might have been 1st and 5 or 6. Y'all got to look at the play. I shouldn't have played. First and 5 or 6, 1st and 6. You're on the goal line. You back up into the back of the end zone. Back up off a dude. Jeff George calls a quick out. He called a quick out real quick, right? When he called that quick out real quick, Deion come up, snatching, pick 6. the other way, come back and start high side and going down the sideline. That stuff ain't never been done before. Then come back and run a kickoff return. You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 plays later at a kickoff return.
Him and Andre started bumping down that field behind it. Then he was mad.
They got nasty with it, and then have the audacity to play in a playoff game, and then go play in an NBA in a Major League Baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have won it with Atlanta when he was with Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But they jacked their wreck. Almost win a World Series.
Ron had that. He had that quote. He said, "I got one thing to say. This is my house."
Yeah.
Let me ask you this:
you talking about to go to basketball?
What's the name of the game though in football? What's the name of the game though? What's really the name of the game?
Running the football.
But the name of the game is really
it's to win the game. It's to win the game. It's not the game win by any cost, like Baltimore Ravens did.
But how do you win though? How do you win by any means? But
defense
is to put that oblong thing in that rectangle thing.
No. Because you know what I mean. Just think about that. We just talked about that before y'all came on air. One of the greatest college football teams of all times. You know, the Mississippi Valley State team with Willie Satellite Todd and Jerry Rice. They ain't had no punt team or no kickoff team. So imagine that, bro. Imagine a college football team right now playing right now without a punt team or a kickoff or a kicking team. 4th and 50, we going. How disrespectful is that? You got your football team on the field. You got them 4th and 35, and they say, shotgun, line up. Hit. No disrespect. And they get it. So how can you say that with a dude like Jerry Rice? He ain't had no crazy. Hey man, let me spit some gears because we a coach. We talking about the coach, man. We talking about Circle City, baby. We talking about Circle City. You know what stat I just read? You know the stat I just read just earlier a couple nights ago that blew my mind.
What's that?
I want y'all to this is hot take. This give me your perspective on this. Anthony Richardson is younger than every quarterback coming out in the NFL draft right now. He's younger than Shedeur Sanders. He's younger than Cam Ward. He's younger than the quarterback coming out of Mississippi. He's younger than every one of them dudes right now.
Right. And he's nasty too. You know, I saw a report today, and it really kind of it rubbed me the wrong way because they already saying that they're going to split the reps all spring 50-50 between him and Daniel Jones. I'm like, man.
Okay, but really, for real, think about this though, bro. They should be splitting the reps 50-50. Didn't you just hear what I just said? Shedeur Sanders is older than him, man. Mm-hmm. Cam Ward is older than him. How many high school football games he play in? Let's get the real stats, man. Let's get real stats here. I want y'all, you know, because this y'all platform. I ain't trying to do nothing with y'all platform. I want y'all to tell me how many career games, how many starts did Anthony Richardson have in high school? How many starts? The good thing about Google, all the information is public knowledge because it was just recent.
Says actually Richardson played in 22 high school football games during his career at Eastside High.
22 games. Now, Malcolm, you was a high school football coach. You coach high school football.
Mm-hmm.
How many games in a season in high school football?
If you make it to state, 14, 15.
14. How many? So let's do this. Look up Warren Central. Let's look up Warren Central. We'll go deep in the playoffs. Let's say a sad team. Tell me Decatur Central schedule last year. How many games did Decatur Central play last year?
Decatur Central won state last year.
Okay, so let's not say games. Let's say Franklin High School. Franklin didn't win no state. They probably got beat in the playoffs.
He was balling during high school though. He had 37 passing touchdowns and 41 rushing touchdowns, threw for 4,600 yards.
But hold on for a second, bro. That ain't the question I asked. How many games did Tri-West play last year in high school football? A team that don't go nowhere. Or Addicts. How many games did Addicts play, Christmas Addicts play in high school football last year? We know they ain't win nothing.
Christmas Addicts, they had Uh, 11 games.
11 games. Okay, so hold tight on that, nephew. So let me hold tight on that. Christmas Adams
No,
played
10,
11
10
games.
games.
Huh?
10 games, yeah.
10 games. Christmas Adams played 10 games last year, right? So Anthony Richardson played 22 games his whole high school career. So that's your junior, senior year. Let's just say your junior, senior year. You didn't play none of your freshman year. You didn't play none of your sophomore year. Let's just say junior, senior year, 22 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many games of college football games did you play?
Played 24.
24. How many games did the University of Florida, because that's where he come from, how many games did the University of Florida play last year? How many games?
12 games. 13 if you include the bowl season.
Okay, 12 games. So you played 2 seasons at Florida. 2 in high school, 2 at Florida. How many years do you go to high school?
4.
4 years. So he basically just played a high school's career. How many years? So that means he either played a full college career without no high school or a full high school career without no college. Now, how many dudes you know they can go straight from high school to the NFL? Tell me one.
Nobody has ever did it.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson. And you asked him to be a starting NFL quarterback, and he ain't played in his whole life but 40 games.
Right, but we've already seen him ball out, and he didn't
I
ball
know
out.
that's how crazy his athletic ability and his talent is.
Right, so why is he got to split reps now?
Because he still got to learn, man. You can't just walk in and do something, man. That's why I say talent don't win all the time. Talent don't win any time. It's about the reps. It's about, so like we were talking about, remember we were just talking about earlier, about who the greatest, like the bonus, the Venus the bonus, how good he is, right? When he started playing professional basketball, we already looked that up. You already know the answer. When he started playing professional basketball?
He was 16.
When he was 16. So now he been playing. How old is he right now?
How old is Sabonis? Sabonis got to be in his
28.
pushing 30.
28, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 28. Yeah, because he's been in the
So
league
how long has he been playing professional basketball?
about 12 years.
12 years. That's why you so dang good. Because you don't get good until you got some experience. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially at football. At quarterback, in today's NFL game, it's so complex, man. That's like you taking trigonometry when you ain't even passed basic algebra. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Malcolm got a daughter, you got a son, right? You think Baby Bear can do algebra right now, bro? Right now.
No.
Can Amina even do a basic arithmetic right now?
It counts. Counts a 10.
Okay, but can she do 2 plus 2?
No.
No. Why can't she do it and why can't Bear do it? Because they ain't never been shown how to do it. Ain't nobody ever taught him how to do it. And that's what he need to do. He need to learn, bro. He need to be taught. And a lot of times you can't be taught on the fly. Because look at this. I want you to give me these stats on this. Tell me Peyton Manning's stats his rookie year. Give me
He was horrible. Let me see.
Look up Peyton Manning's stats his rookie year. Just give me the number. And they made Peyton Manning start his rookie year. They made him go jump into the fire.
16 games played, 3-13. 300.
Hold on, what was our record?
3-13.
3-13.
Mm-hmm. 28 picks. He led the NFL.
28 picks. He threw how many touchdowns?
26.
So he threw more picks than touchdowns. How many yards?
3,700.
Right. What was his completion percentage?
56.
56. Shedeur Sanders ain't never had none under 70 since he been throwing a rock. Never.
So you saying you agree with? You saying you agree with?
What was his career completion percentage now? That's the question for Peyton Manning. What was his career?
65.3.
65. So he improved 15 points over the course of his career because he got experience. And he had dudes teaching him and working with him. They was patient with him. They ain't patient with Anthony, but he got to learn. He got to learn how to read defenses.
By sitting on the bench, though?
Yeah, a lot of times that's when you do it. Look at Steve Young. Steve Young sat behind Joe Montana, and when he came back, he was super nasty.
But here's my thing. We didn't see Daniel Jones get a team the number one pick.
Nowhere. Zero.
That's why I feel like if Daniel Jones is starting, we want the number one pick in the 2026 NFL draft. That's all I see.
Well, because they're gonna understand. See, a lot of times they're gonna be forced to do it on fire. Man, Frank, Ballard, man, listen, bro. I go to every game, man, and I break that stuff down. He ain't trying to win. Jim Irsay trying to, get his next peel. You know what I'm saying? See who other's wife he gonna take and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? They ain't trying to win. If they was trying to win, they spend some years. We had one of the coldest defensive lines ever. You know what I'm saying? But he was trying to win when he had what we had, see? Because you know what I mean, when we had Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning, we had the coldest, you know what I mean? And they naturalized, they brought them up through the ranks. All them dudes got drafted and you know what I mean, was developed, you know what I mean, and we put it together. And you know what I mean? They had the architects, Tony Dungy, super nasty architect. What he did in Tampa Bay was super amazing too. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't got that thing. You know what I mean? Today's league, the best player we got on the Indianapolis Colts, bro, is Jonathan Taylor, man. And whenever we lose, we stop giving him the rock.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win football. You ask me how you win football games. You win football games with defense and running backs, man. That's how Warren won out their chips. Ask Malcolm, he got chips. That's why they win their chips. Y'all had Shaquille Bell on here. Warren Simpson was running back you, bro. Now everybody want to spread it out, throw the ball. One of the most demoralizing things, you play football, bro. One of the most demoralizing things in football is to run that rock, like you say, run that oval thing off somebody's yin-yang. Hey, smash him in the mouth. Smash him and see, listen, if you stronger than me, better than me, hit harder than me, because they see that running game neutralized dudes like Deion Sanders. Their running game neutralized them. That's how the greatest football team maybe ever assembled. The Chicago Bears team, the Chicago Bears team, super nasty. With Walter Payton, they had Jim McMahon as a quarterback. Now do me a favor on that. Look up Jim McMahon's career stats. I forget even at BYU, but look at the career stats of the Chicago Bears and show you how trash a quarterback could be. The ultimate in trasheritas.
What dance he have over there in Chicago?
Super Bowl shuffle. I ain't here to start no trouble. I'm just trying to do the Super Bowl shuffle. But they had one of the coldest. They had one of the coldest defenses in the history of the world ever. They had a dude that went to Tennessee State, played 2 years for me. Richard Dent, Dirty Dent, super nasty. Tony Starger, one of the coaches. But we got off subject real quick. You know what I'm saying? But look that up for me, Jim McMahon stats. But the dude I was talking about, one of the coldest point guards ever to come out of college basketball, went to Tennessee State University. His name was Anthony Mason. Played for the Knicks from Brooklyn. Finest. Super nasty. A lot of dudes don't know that Mason was a point guard at Tennessee State. He was a point. 6'9", 260 point. Get the rebound, come down, crouch. Him and one of the coldest shooting guards ever in the history of America, Darrell Brooks. We call Doe Case with some 50s down there, some rocks. Nasty. DB was super nasty. Hey, but the cool thing was that Andy Mason had so many assists, he would pass the ball to DB in the first half, and in the second half, he just keep rebounding, go all himself. So he triple-double every game. Because he would never pass the ball to DB. I don't care how bad DB was open. I see him fighting the dorms. DB's like, man, I was opening. Why didn't you pass me the ball? I ain't passing you. Go get a rebound. Play some defense, get a rebound. had a long career. Biggie said when he's hitting his broad up there, he said, "What you mean? You got a chick from the New York Knicks? Your man from the New York Knicks talking about Anthony Mason." But
right,
what you say, Jim McMahon? What you say, Jim McMahon's stats was, nephew?
Jim McMahon was passing attempts 2,573, completions 1,492. His career completion percentage 58%. He passed for 18,000, 100 touchdowns, 90 interceptions.
Tell me the year that the Chicago Bears won a championship in '85. They Super Bowl team. They Super Bowl team. Chicago Bears Super Bowl team. Tell me his stat line from right then.
He had a 56.9 completion percentage. He had passed for 2392 on the year, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Okay, so 15 and 11 and 2,300 yards, right? Mm-hmm. Now tell me what Jalen Hurts was this year.
Jalen Hurts had 68.7 completion percentage, 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider Jalen Hurts a top tier quarterback?
Yes, absolutely. He's definitely top tier.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Go to this year's stats for passing yards and tell me the top 5.
The quarterback position had changed. We got to talk about passing is just one part of it now.
You can't talk about winning because that's the team. Just tell me, because the quarterback is to pass the ball. So tell me the top 5 passing quarterbacks this year.
Well, what about the top 5 running quarterbacks, though? We not going to talk about that?
Do that too. Do that too.
All right.
But let's do passing and do running.
I'll pick up the passing.
All right, I'm going to get the runner.
So your top passing, passing yards is you want to know passing yards?
Passing yards.
So I'm going to say Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, number 1. So let me ask you a question. As a quarterback, is Jalen Hurts better than Joe Burrow?
Yes, last year.
So okay, so if you got 3rd and 9, you got 3rd and 9, 3rd and 15, you got 3rd and 15, you got a max coverage up front where they stopping you. Where you got to throw the ball. You got max coverage, but they playing a run. Do you want Joe Burrow throwing the ball or Jalen Hurts throwing the ball? Be honest with yourself.
Give me Hurts, man. I didn't see them make some clutch throws all post.
So if you think that Jalen Hurts has a better arm than Joe Burrow, I understand it. I trust you in that, but that seems to be biased to me.
No. I'm not saying he got a better arm than him. I'm saying
okay,
he gave me 30, 15.
Just throwing the ball. It's
just based off of last year.
I'm just talking about as a quarterback right now. As a quarterback.
Joe Burrow has 652 passing attempts to Jalen Hurts 361.
Right. So that means that they trust Joe Burrow to throw the ball. His offense is built around him throwing the football.
But I don't want 3rd and 15. I want 4th and 1. What quarterback you get?
In order to get 4th and 1, you got to have a running back. So let's do this. How many yards did Saquon Barkley run for this year?
You don't need a running back for 4th and 1.
Okay, so let's do this because what you're saying is, so watch this. How many yards did Saquon Barkley rush for this year? Close to 2,000, right? We don't need to look that up. We all know that. He almost hit 2,000. He's out of the game, right? Mm-hmm. He's out of the game working try to get to 2,000, right? Mm-hmm. Am I right in saying that? In the regular season?
Yeah, he did for sure.
Right. How many yards did the running back for Cincinnati Bengals? I can't even remember. In fact, I know Mixon went away. So who was the starting running back in Cincinnati this year? Y'all don't even know his name.
In Cincinnati, Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. How many yards did Chase Brown rush for this year?
He rushed for a good amount.
How many? He even crack 1,000?
No.
Hey, man. Running that thing solved everything.
Right, and Jalen Hurts did at a high level. He had
okay. So here's what I'm trying to say. Jalen Hurts had a running back. You can't key on Jalen Hurts if you got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. That's how Saquon Barkley busts.
Let me ask you this: Jalen Hurts ran for 14 touchdowns. How many other running backs ran for 14 touchdowns or better? Jalen Hurts ran for 14 by himself.
Lamar Jackson probably hit it. Probably was close.
Lamar Jackson only had 4 touchdowns.
Running.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, sick.
The next closest was Josh Allen. Josh Allen had 12.
But how many yards did Josh Allen have passing?
Passing yards, Josh Allen had 4,500.
How many Jalen Hurts had 24?
He had 4,541 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had 2,918 touchdowns.
Smoked him like a Philly bunt.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah,
Smoked him like a Philly bunt. And so here's what I'm trying to tell you. But who was Josh Allen's running back?
James Cook.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. That running back control everything. You know what I'm saying? It control everything. A good, solid running back, how you win football games in the NFL. You need the round pound. You need that pound town. Pound town. And then you have a defense that pound town. Because the defense, Richard Dent, Mike Singletary, that team, that defense that the Chicago Bears have, just like that defense for the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis. He had a running back when Trent Dilfer run that thing. He had that running back that run that thing, you know what I'm saying? That was pound town, and that defense is pound town. That's what the coach got to get back to, man. Because back when we was our best, when we had Adrian James, we had, Marshall Faulk, we had Joseph Adai. And even with Peyton Manning, they know, for a fact, you can key on that if you want to. We got somebody going to take it to the house as soon as you do. Mm-hmm. Come on up here. Oh my how. Come on up here with that old foolishness. We got somebody gonna take it to the box on you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now I want to do something fun. I'm going to do something fun with you, man. We getting towards the end. So we usually like to close out. We like to do one cold minute. So I'm gonna ask you 10 questions. I'm gonna ask you 10 questions. You got 10 seconds to answer each one of these questions. It's 10 seconds. So it's off the top, Got 10 questions for you. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna put the timer on. Timer starting now.
Go.
Who's the best draft prospect this year coming out? Number 1.
Dude out of Duke. Young man out of Duke. The freshman. Cooper Hawk.
Cooper Flag.
I should have specified. Who's the best NFL draft? Yeah.
Prospect.
Dewar Sanders.
Okay. Who's gonna win the tournament? Who's your March Madness winner? Who's the Final Four winner?
Duke easy.
Duke easy. How many more years LeBron playing?
3 to play with his son Bryce.
Okay. Who's the co-starting quarterback next year?
Anthony Richardson.
He's gonna be starting on start day?
First day 1.
Okay. Who was the best and worst free agency moves of the offseason?
Yet to be determined. Free agencies is like so. It's like a the best for me would have been dude going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, leaving the Seattle Seahawks, but the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't Metcalf, but the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't got no quarterback. So you know what I'm saying. So Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers ain't playing. So he ain't played yet, ain't signed yet. So Metcalf would be the biggest.
Who's the worst? Who's the worst signing?
Man, that's yet to be determined. I think the worst signing for real, will probably be Russell Wilson.
Okay. Prime Jordan versus Prime LeBron. Who wins 1-on-1?
Oh, 1-on-1 LeBron. Come on, man. He's 6'8", 280, man. How you 1-on-1? You got my 1-on-1, bro. Only thing once you do is I'm gonna dunk on you. I'm a muscle. I'm a Debo.
Okay.
Ain't no referees in 1-on-1.
Who's the best in baseball right now?
I don't really follow baseball that good, but I would say that's easy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's homeboy, the LA Dodgers. He's
Ohtani.
He revolutionized the game.
Okay, what's the biggest what if in sports?
The biggest who?
What's the biggest what if? What's your biggest what if?
What if it's in sports?
In sports, what's your biggest if this didn't happen, or if this, what's your biggest what if? Or if the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jerome Bettis, when we knocked him, when we cracked him, had the fumble. Oh,
dude
man.
Dude had a wide open touchdown for us.
Oh, man.
We going to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
We had
man.
a wide open touchdown, and Ben Roethlisberger hawking down and clipping and shoot my dreams. What if the dude would have just went ahead and took it to the box, and we would have won that chip that year?
What if he wasn't beefing with his wife before the night before? She had
But
to
that ain't
poke
got
him in
nothing
the
to do
leg.
with. That ain't got
He
nothing to do
poked
with
him in
Ben
the leg.
Roethlisberger walking you down.
Poked him in the
That
leg
just
the night
means
before the game.
he's a clown.
All right, last one. Who's your best trash talker in sports right now?
Right now, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards for sure.
You know, man. When we talking that talk, man. We popping it off. You see somebody doing something nasty, you know, we be telling right at the end.
What's that?
We talking cold game.
Cold game.
Cold game.
Four, cold game. First round draft pick.